The reign of Napoleon in the former Holy Roman Empire lasted only 7 years. He attempted to invade Russia. That was a disaster. He was defeated in 1813 and pushed out of the region. In 1815, he was defeated at the Battle of Waterloo in modern-day Belgium, and that effectively ended the Napoleonic Wars. But his legacy lasted in the Holy Roman Empire, especially that of having name conventions assigned to the people who previously did not have last names. After Napoleon was forced out of the German-speaking region, for the next 60 years or so, there was a loose coalition of German-speaking regions, and these became divided between the Protestants in the north and the Catholics in the south. The northern states united to become the nation that had been known as Prussia. They elected a general named Wilhelm to be their first king, Prussia. And here's a map of what Prussia looked like after Napoleon was defeated and forced out of the region. The name can be traced back to a Catholic military order, the Teutonic Knights, who were very famous during the Crusades. When these Teutonic Knights returned to Germany, they settled in a region of Lower Saxony, again lower meaning lower elevation. That was northern Germany. The Knights also settled in Poland and parts of Russia, and they named this region Prussia. Well, it's just a historical side note, since I mentioned Protestants, that Martin Luther was from Upper Saxony, higher elevation, which was part of the Holy Roman Empire and later became Prussia. He was a Catholic priest who taught at the University of Wittenberg, and that is where we consider the Protestant Reformation began, and especially Lutheranism. A map of the area around the time of the creation of Prussia, which you can see was much larger than either Bavaria or Austria combined. And on this map I placed the birth dates and events related to the Engelhaupt family, our ancestors. Our great-grandfather Caspar was born in Melrichstadt in Bavaria in 1841. Mary Louise Ress was born in the Weimar province, one of those 21 small provinces that were neither Prussian or German. And it's just interesting to note that there is a professor, last name Rice, who invented the telephone also in that region in 1862, 10 years before Alexander Graham Bell. Well, in 1866, Prussia went to war against Austria. It was a short war. They quickly succeeded, and Austria came briefly under the control of Prussia. 2 years later, our great-grandfather married our great-grandmother. Caspar and Mary were married in Melrichstadt. And returning to this map of Prussia, it continued to grow and became one of the most powerful countries in Europe. It peaked in 1870. And a year before that, Caspar and Mary had their first daughter, Catherine, better known as Katie, who was born in Melrichstadt. Bavaria was not part of Prussia. It was south of Prussia. And a year later, the second child, Martin, was born in Melrichstadt. The northern and the central states of the former Holy Roman Empire formed a coalition. They went to Paris and signed the Treaty of Versailles, which put Prussia and 21 separate states into the modern day German Republic, the nation of Germany that we know today. They had a constitution, and in this German constitution they referred to this new nation as the Second Reich. Austria was invited but decided not to join this coalition, and they remained a separate kingdom. Bavaria had a special situation. They had reached a compromise, which was as long as their king remained alive, that Bavaria would be semi-autonomous. This painting depicts the event when Wilhelm, the King of Prussia, became the Kaiser of the new German Republic. Kaiser literally translates as Caesar, following the Roman tradition. This would be Wilhelm I, the first king of Kaiser of Germany, and his powerful chancellor Otto von Bismarck. We'll hear more about him later. In December of that year, there was a huge coronation ceremony in Berlin, and it reenacted the same ceremony that made Charlemagne the Holy Roman Emperor. They were making a direct connection between the Second Reich and the First Reich, the First Reich being that reign of Charlemagne. This is an interesting commemorative dish. It commemorates the unification of the 21 states with Prussia. On this plate, the central figure represents Prussia, and there are 21 banners around the outside representing the 21 countries, provinces, principalities who signed the treaty in 1871. This plate is in the collection of my dear sister Mary in Omaha, Nebraska.